Mm, hello. Hello, everybody. Saved my dashboard. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome. My name's Jason Static. Everybody, how are you doing? All right. Dido, Hamid, what's up, my man? WS. What's going on, Dido? How was the show tonight? You and Ryxyr coming back from Glory Pro. It was very nice. Some great competition there. Orbited. Yeah, I sent you the link. Check the group chat. I sent you the link. Mm. I believe I sent a request. No. No. I don't think there should be a request. There's no request to I don't know where it says. No, it's not there. Not there. Not there. I'm not sure where there would be a request at. It doesn't show. I don't know where it would be. I can't leave the studio because then I'll be kicked. And let me see. Private chat. Banners. Comments. Edit. Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't show me anything. Send this link to your guest. Guest instructions. Joining the broadcast. Make sure you do. John Jones, you shut your mouth right now. Can a host? The host will be informed that you arrived. You won't be able to enter display name. There you go. After all, it wasn't my problem. It wasn't my fault to begin with.
Yes. Turn this on. We had to enter with Facebook.
Yeah. Got it figured out. Okay. Just took a minute.
About time, you bunch of fucking noobs. So what's up, guys? How was the show?
Tell you what, is pretty decent for real. That main event match with Warhorse and Camaro, Jackson and Jake something. They really showed out. I mean, that was like they were showing what it takes to wrestle with the big dogs.
Right. It was a very, very hard-hitting match.
Yeah, it was full contact, to say the least.
Damn. Damn.
It's quite the thing.
Are you ready to? Are you ready to go on the 6th, Ryxyr?
Yes, I have all my stuff. I talked to the lady from the office of athletics, and she assured me that all my stuff will be ready to go by before then. I'm good to go for that. So, yep. The 6th in Pacific, Missouri. Pro
Nice.
Wrestling Epic presents Declaration of War. Free advertising right there for anybody listening.
Right. There's only 2 people listening. That's what happens when you have a channel. Like I used to do pretty good on streaming. Like I'd get decent views, but then I haven't streamed or done anything on my YouTube for like 2 years almost.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty much dead. So trying to build that shit back up.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's the only way to do it though, by just doing them.
Yeah. So I figured why not? I'd just come in here almost every night if I can, every other night, every couple of nights.
Oh yeah.
Dido, what about you, man?
Yeah.
I know you're ready to go, right?
Oh yeah. Gear ready, music ready. It's time to go.
Yeah. You might be. It might be soon, maybe. Potentially. We'll have to see how it goes. You guys know this is a stream, right? So like you gotta kind of talk.
Yeah, well, I'm driving to some I was looking at where I had to get off. Oh man.
What do you want to talk about, Static?
I don't know, man. That's the whole point of this thing is just talking about something, saying something. I don't know. Like I don't really have much to say today, but I figured I'd hop on here anyways.
Yeah.
You know, not much. I mean, you gotta. I don't know. I gotta do something. You know.
Oh yeah.
So I figured conversation would make itself.
True enough.
The conversation would make itself eventually.
Would you want to talk about the future possibilities of the gym?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. I mean, what do you want to know?
What are you most excited for?
Man, I'm excited just to be able to get back into get back into a building again. That's the big thing. Like, you know, and like I don't want to rush any of it this time around. You know what I mean? Like I want to take our time with everything that we do. You know what I mean?
Have a place that we know is solid and we're set for.
Yeah. You know, the last place we had was pretty solid, but you know, like
nice, like that was the venue and everything.
Yeah, so now it's a little bit different because we essentially don't have the building, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we have the building, but we don't have the building like we had it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's a little bit different.
It's hard because almost like I feel like after having that first, it's almost like trying to recreate that, and that's, I mean, almost impossible. You know, like all we can do is create new, but it's like what we had there was the setup, like it was practically ideal.
Yeah.
So you know, it's like chasing something that is hard to obtain, kind of, you know. Yeah. But we'll get it back.
Chasing something that's not really there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but I mean, it's a, you know, like you said, it's going to be a work in progress. So, you know, it's going to take time to get back to a spot like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, we had something great. It got taken away from us, but now we're coming back with our own ideas, own plans, and we're hoping that this is going to be something new, something big.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and some of the ideas and plans and stuff that I have for it is pretty cool, but I mean, it's not much I can talk about right now until we actually launch everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But because I don't want if somebody in the wrestling world does happen to see this, I don't want it to be. I don't want them. You know how it is. I mean, you've been around enough locker rooms already, so
Yep. You don't want your ideas taken before you can get them out there yourself.
right.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be cool. What are you guys most excited for?
Regular training back in our own gym. Our own gym. Like, you can go places and you can train, but it's nice that, like, that was ours, that was
Right.
home. But
Yeah, he stole the words right from my mouth. Having a place that you train that feels like home. That's something that meant a lot to me, and that's something that's gonna mean a lot whenever we open back up.
Right. And eventually we'll be able to do this type of shit on the YouTube channel for the actual gym. So instead of doing it all on here, we'd actually be able to do it. Hell, even probably multi-stream to both places at the same time.
yeah.
So that's another thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I think I'm excited about some of the stuff that I haven't even told you guys. I've told Dido a little bit. I haven't told you much about a lot of the stuff, Rich, but like some of the stuff that I have planned, if we can pull it off, it's gonna be, to me, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
And that's my kind of, this is the stuff that I haven't talked about to pretty much anybody.
To add on to my other point of things that to look forward to, excited about, is, when we had the gym, that feels like it was like so long ago from when I kind of went out and we started like kind of networking and going to shows and meeting people and training with other people. And it would be cool to have the gym again, because I feel like maybe we would be able to coerce some of these people to come work and train with us a little bit out at our place then, and that would be that would be a real cool thing to have some of these people that we've met and trained with come out and work with us as a whole at our home.
Right.
So
yeah. Now that's something that I'm interested in doing, is like, bringing down people for like special guest trainers, on a particular day, particular things, like Jimmy Harris and them guys. Bring Jimmy Harris down here and he can just teach a class on reffing.
Yeah.
Or has two guys in the ring and then he's telling the other guy how to ref and everything like that. So like actually getting down into like the particulars of different stuff, everything from maybe bringing down somebody like a Ben Simon down to teach guys how to do commentary and whatnot. That way everybody knows how to do everything, and that way you're more versed in anything, and you can actually get work anywhere.
Hell yeah. That's good to know every aspect of it, because if you know all the aspects, then as a wrestler, it's going to be easier for you to know things you can and can't do and what'll be easy to pull off and such, as far as like spot moments and such, when you would have to go and communicate with those people and let them know, hey, I'm going to need you to do this at this time. At least you're not just some guy just asking for, what it is and what it takes and what has to be done,
Right.
And that's that level of respect, person to person there, to where they're like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's done it. I'm more likely to happily do it for him. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Everyone has something to give. Different people have different views and different styles, but everyone has something to give and to contribute to make your own.
Right. I definitely agree with that one. Like everybody does have different different things to do, or different things that, you know, where somebody might be really good on one thing, you know, somebody else might be really good on another thing, you know, and then that way you have different ways, because it's like I always say, like it's different, and like it's not different in wrestling, but like it's sometimes some people are better at certain things than certain people, so why not just try to teach people how to do, like, okay, if a guy's really good at throwing punches, why don't we bring a guy down and just teach a whole class about how to throw punches properly, or how to throw kicks, or how to do this, or how to do that.
Absolutely. It'll make us more diverse as a whole.
Almost like running seminars, but like they're just like, you know, full on actual like classes.
Yeah, specialty training classes, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and like we're also going to do a bunch of like hopefully doing a bunch of like we were doing in the chat group with like you know, homework type stuff, you know, question and answer, reviewing matches and shit like that, reviewing shows. Like we're gonna do all that shit in house now instead of doing it in our group chat. You know, so like
in-house film reviews always cool too, because as a group you can sit there and hear everybody else's points and, you know, make your own, and you can collectively as a group gain more knowledge by watching it together and, you know, hearing what everybody has to think about it, or all the perspectives as opposed to just your own or a couple people's, you know?
Right. Because I mean, because everybody watches wrestling a different way. You know, so somebody might pick up on one thing where, like, if me and you are watching Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart face each other, if us three are watching that, I might see something different than what Dido sees, and then Dido might see something different than what Ryxyr sees. So, and then we can sit there and talk about what it was, each particular match. You know, say we watch WrestleMania 3 or some shit like that. This is just hypothetical. But say we watch WrestleMania 3, we watch the show from start to finish, and we talk about each element of each of the show, like the beginning, you know, because that's how you watch, you know, like when you write a story, you got a beginning, a middle, and an end. So at the very beginning, you know, the first third of it, watch that, talk about it. After each match is over, talk about each match, blah 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 blah, and that'll be a day of practice. Is just sitting there watching wrestling. You know, but we might also have something easy. That'll be like an easy day, but then we'll have like a really hard workout, like a cardio based. You know, like some of the shit that I've been posting in the group chat that we have.
Oh yeah.
You know, some of those types of workouts.
And then the next day you utilize what you learned.
Right.
Practice the things that you notice and stuck out and want to work on from what you had just watched while it's fresh in your mind. That's because I feel like a lot of the things, like most of the things that have stuck with me, because, you know, you learn a million different ways to do moves and different things. And, you know, you don't always remember all of them. You remember the ones you like, but the ones that always stick out to me the most are like ones that I've always thought were cool and then learned like the intricacy of it from, like, you know, in a situation where it's like, okay, we were talking about it and we just started doing it, and it turns out that, you know, we start working on it and you get it down because you're on the subject of it. It's something you're thinking about and wanting to do. And I feel like watching that film and then going back like the next day or the couple days later and making the training session pertaining to what you had watched would make things stick in people's heads, you know?
Yeah, that could be a thing. Yeah, that could be a thing for sure.
That's just an idea I had. I mean, just as that's, you know, when you see things you like and then you want to, it's like, it's the whole fan to professional, you know, thing where it's like you're watched it as a kid and as a fan, now you're watching it from an objective standpoint, but you're still a fan of what it was, because it's like the old ones, like you said, like WrestleMania 30, you know, stuff you seen when you were a kid.
Right.
It's taking you back to that, the nostalgia, but you're watching it from that objective standpoint, and you really pick out things that you're like, I like what he does there, I like how he does this, I want to try to work that. And then it, you know, once you start working that, I feel like all them things will stick, you know, like
Right.
the Russian arm tie for me. That's something that has really stuck from the Delirious seminar, because it took me back to wrestling when he had us immediately start with the duck walks and everything. And it just took me back to wrestling. And I was like, that's my base of everything. That's where I started working out. That's where I started doing anything physical, you know, and realizing I was good at, like, you know, at wrestling was there. And taking me back, that made almost everything we worked on in that seminar, like, is something that stuck with me because it was based around something that I liked, you know?
Right.
That's I feel like that's a good way to go about teaching people things, you know, or letting them learn and figure out their character or how they work, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of to me personally, like I think a lot of how do you say I don't know how to say it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but like the basic of training, like stuff that's like type of training, like you guys can do all the weightlifting and everything that you need to on your own because you guys know how to do that shit.
Oh,
but
no,
like,
that's gonna be a day of the week. If we get our own gym static, you already know I'm running that class. We're having them work out. That's gonna be an optional day of the week. But if you want to get in and get lean or get big, and you get in the fucking gym and we're lifting, I need accountability. I need to get back at it.
but also like, you know, like do certain type of training where like, okay, like if we know somebody in the class is lacking on being able to jump, you know, high enough to do something, you know, like leapfrogs or some shit like that. Like that day's training or the following day's training, whatever it is, you know, that's going to be catered to being able to jump.
Yeah.
You know, get better at jumping, get better at this. You know, if
somebody's your weakest link.
Yeah, you know, so that, and you know, and like a lot of endurance training, because wrestling is all about endurance.
100%.
Endurance and durability. So like that's going to be like a lot of the training shit that I want to do, like on our off day where we do like the video work, you know, packages, you know, watching stuff and practicing promo and character and all of that stuff. On that day, that's the day that we train. We have a really hard training session of, you know, endurance stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that's going to, you know,
bust ass for 30, 45 minutes and fucking go hard and build your cardio and endurance, because that's what you're going to need.
Yeah. Yeah. And to help build your durability too. Like, you know, and that's because that's a big thing too, durability and endurance. So like if we can build a bunch of guys who are just straight killers, you know, that can last, that can move, that can go, that are flexible, you know, that are limber, that are smooth. You know, that's a big goal.
Yeah, if you're smooth, loose, and you got wheels, then it's go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the goals.
Oh yeah.
Like as for like training stuff, that, and when like I have somebody that I'm looking that I've been talking to about doing advanced training, like advanced wrestling training.
That'd be cool.
But I'm not ready to say who that is, but we've talked about it and he said he's game.
That would be real cool.
So where I might be lacking in areas of like, advanced training and being able to like have matches and stuff like that with you guys and whatnot, like he'll be able to kick your game up way more than what I would. And if you guys did good enough, he might even take you on the road with him.
Hell yeah.
That would be a huge opportunity.
Or he might put in a word for you.
Yeah, I've definitely learned one thing I've learned beyond all else is and I hate to say it's not what you know, it's who you know, but it is both. It's who you know, it's a lot of networking, it's who you know, but it's also what you know, because you have to be able to show something to those people.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Main thing, just going into every place that you go into with respect.
And just acting right, acting professional. It's professional wrestling, and you have to act professional.
It's a professional business. It might be acting and wrestling and everything like that, but like it's still a professional business.
Yeah,
if you go in acting like a jackass, you're going to be treated like a jackass.
Exactly.
And then you got if you go by old school standard, you got, I get the blowback from that because I'm the one that brought you guys in.
Yep.
So that's why I'm always so on you guys about decorum of being respectful, even if somebody's ignorant towards you, or whatever, I'll still be respectful towards anybody and everybody, even if they're assholes to you, because that, that should have come back to me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, did you hear Static's guy? He's a little hothead. He's smug and he's got a bad ego and and then that gets back to me and it's like, hey, that I didn't teach that guy that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and really, in all accounts of life, but especially in something that you're trying to, you want to get booked somewhere, you want to wrestle. Well, act like it, act like a decent person, and hold yourself up to a higher standard. If you want to be held up to that standard, you need to hold yourself up to that standard.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Hell, would you go into a boardroom acting like a complete jackass and a smug, egotistical prick?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's going to want to do nothing with your deal with you. And that's, you want to be that guy, 100%.
You're never going to make it anywhere with that type of attitude walking into the room. Yeah.
You go into, the funny thing is like wrestling is an ego-driven business, but like that's the hypocrisy of wrestling, because like it is an ego-driven business. You got to be a little bit egotistical to want to get up there and perform in front of people and want people to either like you or hate you. So you got to have a little bit of an ego, and you do at times have to feel that you're better at times, because you do want to work harder. If you feel somebody's better than you, that means you got to work harder than what they do to get better. So that's a little bit of ego right there. You're like, oh man, I'm better than this guy, but like, why ain't I getting this?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But there's times to, I guess, turn the ego on and turn the ego off.
Right.
Or maybe not have it at 11. Maybe have it at like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like me, like I know I'm not like I'm not a huge name in the industry by far at all. But like, a handful of people know me, and hell, with you guys out doing your thing, that's probably helped my name more than anything that I ever did. Because I'm sure if you talk to a lot of people out there, they're like, oh, who'd you work with? Who'd you train with? And you'd be like, oh, Jason Static. And like, who? Like that's the funny thing about this is like the more that you guys do and the better that you guys do, that kind of solidifies yourselves, but it also solidifies me.
Yeah, 100%. But
which
Static, Aiden's mom just pulled up. I'm meeting them.
All right, man. Talk to you guys later.
All right, man. Hell yeah. You have a good night. Be safe.
All right, man. Take it easy, brother.
All right,
see you later.
See ya. Back to myself. What's going on, everybody? That was a short chat with Wes Robinson. What's up, my man? How you doing? You doing okay, man? How's life been? Yeah, man, I'm still in Missouri. Still in Missouri. Southeast. Nice. I'm doing a little on eBay. I have a flea market booth. I have a website that I still do stuff on. I got my hands on a little bit of stuff, so I'm definitely trying to do more in the flea market booth. That's been like my main driver. That's the one I have the most time for. Not for me. I mean, I do pretty decent. Like I wouldn't say that I do a whole shit ton of I don't do a whole shit ton of money, but like I do a lot of audio and video stuff, like movies, DVDs, CDs, records, stuff like that. So like all my stuff's really low dollar stuff. So it's I do a couple $100 a month in the booth, but it's enough to pay my booth, and have a little bit more. But I'm switching it up here. This week I'm switching stuff up. So I decided to take a lot of my stuff from eBay that I have, because I have like a death pile like no other. And I decided to take a lot of that stuff and throw it in my booth because I just have too much stuff. So kind of trying to liquidate a bunch of stuff, and I'm only going to do certain stuff on my eBay. Like I do action figures and toys and stuff like that. Do all the toys and stuff like that are in package, in box, on my website or on there, and then do like sports cards and stuff like that, because I got so many sports cards and collectible cards and trading cards and stuff like that. And I'm going to do all that stuff on there because all of that stuff's really simple and easy to ship. And it doesn't take me a whole lot of time to, list. And that's kind of my thing right now, is trying to figure out time wise. Like I don't have time to sit down and take thousands and thousands of pictures. I source anywhere and everywhere. I source at flea markets. I source on eBay. I source in department stores and auctions and Facebook Marketplace, anywhere I can find it. Anywhere I can find it. But like, I source particular things, all pop culture stuff. So all the stuff that I get in source is pop culture related stuff. So it's it's probably a little bit easier. Some of the stuff's a little bit more long tail, I guess you could say, but that's the stuff that I like to sell. I'm not supporting any kids or a family or anything like that. It's just me. So I don't need to. I guess you could say I don't need to have a super steady source of income every single week. You know what I mean? Like somebody who has a family and whatnot. Like if I'm short a week and I only make $100 that week off of eBay, I'm perfectly okay with that. Yeah, John. I actually live out in Fredericktown now. I live on his farm in one of his properties. Yeah, it's wild. Nah, I don't know anybody like that. I don't know anybody with that name. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, I just recently moved out here, maybe 3 months ago. I don't really know anybody. I only know John. So I work so much, so like I'm hardly even here half the time. I'm always out doing stuff. So send offers 10% off. Maybe do 15%. 16%. 17%. 18. 19. Maybe let's just do 20. Let's see if that sells. I can afford that. Oh, okay. That's cool. So was you from around here, Wes? Oh, okay. The ex-wife was. Sorry to bring that up. Let's see here. That's the best way to take it, man. Ancient history. That's the best way to take it. So, where you at? Where you living at now? Oh, okay. Is that where you originally lived? Oh, okay. There's a YouTuber that I watch. His name's Black Pegasus, and he lives out in Colorado. I don't know why that's relevant, but he's super dope. I like him. What type of stuff do you resell, Wes? You said you're still reselling, right? He's he does reaction videos, but he's a hip hop artist. But he does like reaction videos, like freestyle rap stuff on his channel and everything like that. But he's a cool dude though. I don't know if you're into hip hop, but like he does like music reviews and stuff like that. I started with video games as my bread and butter, but now I sell anything. Okay. What do you like this? What do you like? Was video games what got you into it, or is that what you like to sell the most? Right. That's kind of my mode of thinking there, Wes. Is like the pop culture stuff. I can get the stuff in abundance. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to pay up for it, and sometimes you don't. But like I can get that stuff in abundance. It's all over the place. So you just gotta, like I'll go on Facebook Marketplace, and I'll sit there and scroll through Facebook Marketplace for an hour or so trying to find stuff. And then if it's a big giant lot of stuff, say like there's 150 items, and then say it's 150 items in the lot, and the guy's selling it for like $75. Well, I go to my little calculator that I have. I have a, I guess you could call it a price calculator, that a unit price calculator. So if you have 150 items, and you're selling the lot for $75, that'd be roughly 50 cents per item. So I'm like, okay, what is the majority of those items worth? Are the majority of those items worth $5? Okay, cool, I can buy it. Because then you can make up the differences of everything. So like that's the way that I buy pop culture stuff. And I'll try to find it anywhere. Like if I can go to Goodwill, if I can go to Facebook Marketplace, it doesn't really matter as long as I can find it. Right. That's actually a cool thing to have. I don't know what type of phone you have, but like if you can find it's called the unit price calculator. Oh my God, that shit's so handy to have. It's so handy to have. Yeah, I try to only buy in bulk. That's the best way to buy pop culture stuff, is buy it in bulk. Other than that, you're gonna be skimpy on profit and everything like that. Can you hear any music playing? Okay. That's all I was wondering. Eric Huffman, how you doing, buddy? You having a good day? Good. What'd you do today, Eric? With Menard? Did you get there? Is that music really loud? Okay. So it's not bad, not too loud. Is it louder than my voice? Okay, good. What did you get at Menards? Was he sourcing? Come on, Eric. You're going to tell me what you bought. I want to know everything that you did today. Oh. Eric's doing some housework. I see. I see. Considered Christmas gift from your parents. Hey, it works. I got a God, what the hell is that thing called? Let me see what it is real quick. Hold on. I can't remember. This is what I got right here. These are 3 and 1. This is what I got. My mama sent me it. A 3-in-1 pizza oven. Why? I have no clue, but that's what she got me. It's cool though. It's cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where I'm going to put it at, but I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm going to be right back, you guys. I'm going to go use the restroom and grab something to drink. Give me a couple of minutes. Okay. I'm back. Eric, you didn't tear down the place, did you? I don't know what that means, Eric. ITA. Yeah. Oh, it's all good. You and your young man slang. All your hip lingo. Trying to eat. Trying to eat and type at the same time. What you eating? Oh. Quick and easy lasagna, huh? I had a New York strip and some noodles earlier. It's called Liquid Death, sparkling water. No, no whiskey, man, no whiskey. It's been a long time since I had any whiskey. Old times and static lands for whiskey. I don't know. It's just not something I haven't really wanted to drink anything. You know, like I've always been the person that like I got to be in the mood. You know what I mean? And if I'm not in the mood, then I'm not in the mood, and it just so happens that yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, it'd be nice. Like, I don't know. Yeah. The old live stream days, yeah. The old live stream days were fun. Yeah. different song? We've been on this song for a little while. Yeah, I don't really have a cool setup in this room. That's why I don't have the camera on. Yeah, it is a bad hair day. Yeah, it's definitely a bad hair day. What little bit of the hair that I have left? Right. Genetics. Gotta love them. I don't know. I don't know if he does or not. He might. Yeah, I'm not sure if he does or not. Hmm. Uh-oh, I'm telling John, you haven't been to church in years. He's going to get on you. No. No, he doesn't try. Bible study chat. I've done that before. Years ago. Yeah. Good times. The good old days. Right. Haven't got anything yet. Haven't got anything yet. Not really. Not really. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Boom, boom, boom. See, I don't have a cool setup. This is all I have, Eric. That's all I have. Nothing special. Dido Hamid back again, I see.
Yes, yes. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. How goes it, my man?
It's going good. Just came back from the show. Feeling great. There's a lot of great competition there. A lot of people to look up to. A lot of people to look at to grow.
I see. I see. So what's new?
Uh, not a whole lot's new at the moment.
You're not a very good conversationalist, are you, Dido Hamid?
Well, would you like to pick up where we left off?
Sure. Where did we leave off at? Do you remember?
I believe we were talking about the gym.
The gym. The gym. Okay. What do you want to know about the gym? that you don't know?
What about the gym have you not told us yet? Like, is there anything new?
New. I need to call the guy. I need to call the guy about the place that I looked at. I do. I need to call him back. I haven't called him back yet. But if that's the place we do end up getting, I want to do things a little bit different than what we did back at the old spot. I want to make it not just a gym for guys to work out and train in, but like a destination spot, if that makes sense. If I say any more than that, then I'll give a bunch of stuff away, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
But I want to make it a destination spot, not just for people to come work out and train in, but also a destination spot that fans and people can come to get things.
I like that. That's a very respectable goal, and I feel like it's.
If you get what I'm putting down,
I believe I do. That's a very respectable goal, and I believe it's very achievable.
Eric Huffman says, "Do we know what moved into the? No, that's the wrong one. Do we know what moved into the old building? Yeah, we know what moved into it. It's like a nickel and dime penny store type place. You know what I mean, Eric? It's I guess you could say it's like a
clearance corner.
Yeah, it's like a clearance place. Apparently the people do they do like auction type stuff, buyouts, and they get their product from there, places like that. Like, it's not a very good place. I mean, they didn't do anything to it. They just threw a bunch of tables in the place, and it still looks like what we had it. But I mean, that's going to be the plus of if we get this new place, is we can actually do what we want, and we can make it fit to what we want.
Yes.
Which is a good thing. And like, I'm not going to rush to, like, even like, say we get the building tomorrow, like, I'm not going to rush in and hurry up and set up a ring and everything like that. Like, I want to do a little bit of stuff first, because the last time we did that, I mean, I want to hurry up and get in there and get the ring and everything set up, but I want to make sure other stuff is done before we do that. Because kind of what happened last time is we got everything set up in there, and then nobody wanted to do anything else. So we're going to do a little bit different. Like, we're going to actually do some like interior decorating type shit, which should be fun to do, because then it's how we want it, and how, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I kind of got, if this is the building that we end up getting, I kind of have it pictured in my head where things are going to kind of go and what's going to get kind of done in rooms and whatnot. So it's just a matter of figuring it all out when we get everything in it. But I think the ring will be the last to last thing to put in it. Because we got to figure out a handful of other things before we figure, because the ring is the biggest part. So we'd essentially mock the ring up, mock it up. Don't put it all the way up, but like get it, at least the frame built on it, and then maneuver it around where we need it and where we want it and where it'll look good at, and then go from there, and then do everything else. Yeah, we still have the old ring, Eric.
It's been a long time since I've been in that one. I'm excited.
Yeah. And then we're gonna have to get a new ring though, Eric, because the old one is a little bit too tall for this building that I looked at. So it's we'll have to get a low boy so we can actually work and whatnot, but shouldn't be too bad for the time being. Anything else? Dido, Hamid?
Let me think. So I already asked what you're most excited about the new place. What are you most excited about to see out of your wrestlers?
The guys bringing respect back into wrestling and not so much ego. That's what I want to see most. That's what I want to see most.
Absolutely. There's a lot of ego in the business, and a great deal of respect from our company can really light the way.
Right. I mean, that's the biggest thing is there's so much ego. And like I said earlier, like you kind of got to have a little bit of an ego, but not to the point of where you're just crude and ignorant to anybody and everybody for no reason. And if you have a good mindset and you're willing to learn and take direction and everything like that, that's pretty much what anybody could want from you. You could be the best in-ring performer ever, but if you got a shitty attitude, sometimes people don't want to deal with that. And that's the best way to, the best way that you can do that is just not to have it. And that's also the hardest thing to do because, I mean, I know how it is in there. It could be cutthroat. So you got to kind of be ignorant at times in ways that don't step on too many toes.
Right. There's a time and place for everything.
Right. What are you looking forward to besides just actual in-ring stuff?
Like with the gym or
the gym, anything?
What I'm most excited for is to see how, as a group, we grow and how far we can get with this. Looking at where we were at last time with the old gym, and then I wanna take that, and then I want to see how far we can go with this new gym, and see collectively how far we can grow, learn, and make each other better. Because like a chain, it's only as strong as its weakest link. So we build each other up, we make each other strong, and it'll be fun to see how far as a group we go.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how people react to the new way that things are going to be done. That'd be an interesting thing to see.
Absolutely.
Because it's not going to be So I guess you could say it's not going to be as easy. Like I'm going to actually push people a lot harder than what I did.
And that's good. Just like you've been preaching to us all this time. There's levels to this. Whatever level you want to play on, you know what level. We know what the company wants to be on. So we have to come in with a new attitude. There's a new expectation.
Right. What is something that you've felt like you've lacked in?
Something that I feel like
since you excel in a lot of things, what is something that you feel that you've lacked in? That you feel that you could do better or try to do better?
In the ring?
Anything. In any of it. Not just in-ring stuff, but like in general. The wrestling as a whole. As a whole business.
I feel like I've lacked in, I guess, getting to know the boys backstage, getting to connect with them. I'm usually more quiet, and I like to listen to what they have to say. I usually don't have long-worded responses whenever it comes to stuff like that. And I hope people don't look at it as he just doesn't want to talk to us, because that's not the case at all. I just like to listen, see what people have to say, and learn.
So that's what you feel your hardest thing's been?
I would say so.
What is the let me see. When you started, what was the thing right off the bat that you were like, oh man, I didn't expect this?
Well, how much time it takes to put into this, how much energy, everything. It takes so much into this business. I showed up first day, and I just watching him in the ring, just trading holds and grappling, and there's just a lot to it that I had no idea of until I was able to step in the ring and learn.
And what was the hardest part, like in your first couple of days? Like, what do you feel like was the hardest part in your first couple of days?
The hardest part in my first couple of days, like training, right?
Right. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
The juicy one.
Oh, juicy.
You guys afraid to show your ugly ass faces? Is that what this is?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, well, I'll hide mine too then.
Yeah, good. We need to hide that ugly ass face. What's up, man?
Don't mind the background noise. All the kiddos are getting ready for bed.
It's all right. So how's it going, buddy?
Yeah. Oh, well, I just got off that work meeting and I won an award for impact. I made the most impact in my market out of 52 stores. I was number one, so
nice.
Got some recognition on a call, in front of our VP of sales and that kind of stuff. They did like a Christmas thing, so
nice. About time, Juicy, get some recognition.
Yeah, I know, right? I asked if that award comes with a raise.
Right.
I'll be grinching it up and stealing stuff.
So I asked right before you popped in, I asked Dido a question. What was that question, Dido? I don't even remember already.
The question was, for the first couple of days of training, what was the most challenging thing?
For me?
That Dido had. Then you can answer, Jeremy.
Oh, I wasn't there for Dido his first few days of training.
Why no?
Are you talking about what was the first for my training?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, my training, it was nerves, one of them, like being in your own head early. And for me, it would be trying to be perfect or do too much at first, like first couple of days. So like, you know, when you're doing your warm-ups, how extra did I have to be, you know? You know, try to not basically try to like slow myself down and mentally understand that you're not going to be good at this right away. It's going to take time. That was my probably biggest struggle, is like being in my own head with like bumping and did I do that right? Bam. Did I do that right? Bam. How'd that look? Bam. Was that okay? Bam. That kind of stuff. So like not just waiting to be told if it was bad, or hey, work on, don't do it this way, do it that way. It was always, I was very much I was very much like Trevor at first, but not as bad, with like talking myself out of confidence, but like questioning what I just did a lot. And obviously like the soreness and stuff too, but that's with any sport, you know. When you start football camp and you start hitting, you're like, holy shit. This is a different sore.
What was something that when you first got, or like your first couple, you know, your first week or two after you had your first week, maybe first 2 weeks, and you're like, man, this is completely different than what I thought?
Oh, for sure, 100%. Because I mean, you know, when you watch something on it's anything. When you watch something on TV, especially when you had at the time I had no idea about indie wrestling at all. All I knew was WWE, ECW, like I knew there was New Japan, and I knew about, you know, WCW, and then but like as far as like, I didn't know what Smoky Mountain Wrestling was. It like for me to watch it on TV until I was probably in my mid-20s. I was like, because I didn't have anybody in my life, or I didn't know anybody that followed like independent wrestling. I'm like, they would tell me about stuff like, oh man, back in the NWA days, blah 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 blah. But in my mind, it was, well, NWA isn't around anymore because the WWF is around and it's WCW. And then, you know, when you're in your 14, 15 years old and you catch ECW on TV and you're like, oh, this is more wrestling. So this is where you would go.
This thing?
Yeah, you go here before you go to WWF or WCW, because you started seeing guys at that age go from ECW, like the, you know, like the Rey Mysterios. And same thing with like Mexico. Like I had no fucking idea about AAA and like C-Mail and all that stuff. Like no idea. So when you're watching stuff on TV and you're like, oh, I could do that. I can do a diamond cutter, or I could do an elbow drop. And then you go to actually like try to do these moves and you're like, holy shit, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, it's totally different.
It does not translate immediately. So like, even because like, you know, my brothers and I mean, my brothers are a lot younger, but me and my buddies, we'd sit around and watch wrestling all the time, and we'd be like, yeah, we could do this. Hell yeah, we get on the trampoline and like play around, and like, yeah, you basically fight each other on the trampoline, not thinking the shit's a work, you know, and like fucking each other up. Like we used to pedigree each other on the ground outside, in the yard, you know, like we had no idea. Like we could have killed one another and not even known it. DDTs, you name it, throwing people in the sharpshooter for real, you know, trying to break a kid's back. So like
picking people up and doing backbreakers for real.
Yeah, no bullshit. Like for real, like we were beating the shit out of each other, and we were all buddies, you know, like friends, having fun. We were kicking the shit out of each other as we were kids, and like didn't realize that. You know, you're supposed to be protecting one another, not trying to really fuck each other up. But that's another one too. Is like thinking, oh yeah, I could do that. I can springboard, or I can do a backflip. Yeah, I do a backflip in the pool all the time. Why can't I do a backflip? And then you go to do it in a ring, and you're like, this is fucking frightening.
it's a lot scarier to do things.
Well, and especially when you hit the mat for the first time and you realize, oh fuck.
Yeah,
like,
and
it's
it
not
rocks you.
Yeah, it's not a swimming pool and it's not a trampoline, you know?
It does not feel good, no.
And that's what I'm saying. That it changes your perspective on, oh shit, maybe I can't do the shit I thought I could right away, you know?
Just in a little bit of time that we had the building, and we had a couple of people run through the place, and there was a couple of people, they took one bump and they're like, oh yeah, okay, this ain't for me. You know, so like I think when people realize the I guess you could say the how like the complexity of it all and how it feels, once you realize that, and you're like, oh, no, I can't do this. Like, why would I want to do this continuously?
Yeah, that's why, like, I was just talking to my wife just like 2 seconds ago because I was like, can you please rub my neck for a second?
Right.
Because, like, every day, like, I mean, I'm older now, so, like, things are starting to, you know, I'm starting to pay for the things I did as a kid or pay for things like, you know, being in that car accident when I was younger, so my neck's always going to be a little janky anyway. But, like,
right.
Sitting there going, you don't understand, like, the pain that between my neck and my back of, like, just living with it every day. And, like, just a simple, like, a minute and a half that you rub on my neck relieves so much tension that I can move the shit.
Right.
You know, because the muscles in my neck are trying to compensate for the fact that my neck doesn't have that curve in it. So it's like in a constant state of what the fuck.
Yeah,
so, but like, but then I still choose. Yeah, but I still choose to go wrestle. You know, but I'm wrestling different than what I did when I was doing it the first time.
Right.
I'm not doing all the. Oh yeah, who wants to do? We want to do the Tower of Doom tonight. Cool. Who's gonna be at the top? Oh fuck it, I'll do it. Like, I'm not that guy anymore. Like, you know, I mean, if the chips are down and they really desperately needed someone to do that and it made sense, then yeah, I'll do it. But like, that's not something I'm just gonna up and volunteer for anymore.
Right. You eventually get to the point where you're like, you know, I'm gonna just do this stuff smarter and not harder. Because I think that's one of the things. Like, Dido asked me a question earlier, and he's all like, I don't even remember what the question was, but that's one thing that's going to be different. Is like, I want to show guys how to work smarter, not harder. You know what I mean? Like, if you can work smarter and not harder, then you're gonna have a longer career.
Well, that too, and it's also like one thing I learned even now when I just came back, just talking to Ricky. You know, he's like, because I was talking to him kind of about the gimmick and how I wanted to do, and that he goes, that may work in other places, but that's not going to work here.
Mm-hmm.
The people that come to this show, they don't care how well you can grapple and how many moves you can do. You know, like how many submissions you know. Like, you're going to lose them. They're going to get bored. This particular crowd likes impactful stuff.
Right.
So what do? You build up to it.
Right.
You know, it's like how you build up to that impactful thing. He goes, I can grapple and I can do high flying stuff still even at my age, but do I? No, I just build up to a certain move, to like 2 or 3 big moves, and that's what gets them going, is the impactful stuff, the brawling, the non like dangerous stuff, you know.
Right.
But it was just it's just knowing like where you're working. So like, again, so you do like Glory Pro or maybe even Anarchy. I haven't even seen an Anarchy show in God knows how long, so I'm not exactly sure, but I'm sure they kind of have that super indie kind of style, you know.
Yeah, they still have the same style that they always had, which
works.
I said they still have the same style that they've always had.
Yeah. So because Gary, if he's in any way, shape, or form and charging me and stuff, like, he works that crazy, beat the shit out of you, hard hitting, super indie style, and
And it works for them, you know, like
yeah, and that's their crowd. That's what they know that what they're getting whenever they go there.
right.
And like same thing with Glory Pro. Like they have that super indie style, not necessarily TV style.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's more of like a AEW TV style, you know, but you don't see what they do on WWE TV. Maybe
Right.
NXT every once in a while, but like not anymore, you know. They work a more TV friendly build, old school kind of style. And like, but if you go to PWE, they got a more mix of like old school meets ECW, you know, like GCW type of shit. You know, like they're not scared to do nothing over there, you know.
Right.
They do everything.
They got a mix of everything.
Yeah. They got like your guys that work old school, and then you mix it in with the guys that want to use a cheese grater on their forehead and go through panes of glass and shit. And you're like, what the fuck? You know? These guys are insane, but it works, and that's their crowd.
Well, they got like a PWE. They got like a mix of like, you know, I guess you can almost call, like, if you were going to call them any of the bigger companies that's been out in the world, like I guess you could probably call PWE a mix of ECW and WCW.
Yeah, no, I like what they what they do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't dislike it at all. I'm saying that's just their style. I like what Lenny's doing.
Right. Yeah.
I'm actually very happy that Lenny's being as successful as he is, doing what he's doing, because he's stuck with it for so long. Love him or hate him, or you can have any opinion you want on him, but the guys put the time and work in to build what he's got.
Right.
And you can't not respect it. You know.
Right.
You can't not have, you know, I like seeing people be successful regardless of who you are, you know.
Yeah.
Unless you're a prick. Unless you're a prick eater, then I don't like it.
that's kind of one of the goals, is like, you know, of what we're doing, are going to be doing, is like I want to see people actually succeed at this, and not just be, you know, your 15-year career, you know, Missouri indie guy. You know what I mean? Like I actually want you guys, you know, get out there and succeed and potentially be able to make a living off of it.
Well, even if you're gonna be like, I turned 38 on Friday.
Right.
I have no intent on being like a WWE guy or NXT guy. Like there ain't no fucking way. So to me, there's nothing wrong with being strictly a St. Louis area guy, if that's what you want. But if you're going to do that, A, don't have a fucking ego. B, have fun. Do things that are fun and have a good attitude. Be positive. Mm-hmm. And if you have someone that you can help out or work together with to help build, if they have aspirations to do such a thing, like move forward and move on, then help them if you can. You know? Yeah. Put them over. And that's the thing, is like, I've only had, since I've been back, I've had 4 matches, I think, since November. And one nobody saw, because it was at a like a private party, and it wasn't recorded or anything.
Right.
But that was a pretty decent match I had with Zulu. Then I liked that one. We did a good job. Mm-hmm. But like, I've gotten farther already losing than I would have just being put over because I came back, you know?
Right.
So like, that's part of the thing too, is like, you can get just as far. It's not about really wins and losses. You can get just as far losing as you can, or sometimes farther losing than you can winning. Right. Because if no one gives a shit, or you don't put in good work, it doesn't matter if you win or lose.
Right.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, if you don't put in good work, then it's not going to matter.
Yeah, regardless if it's 18 somersaults and 3 whoopsie daisies and a fucking cannonball splash with a 450 tuck, backhand spring elbow, no one fucking cares. Like, you know, I mean, I know, I'm not sure exactly like what the plans are at where I'm primarily booked at now. But like, there's something to be said that, you know, 1 month I'm working with one guy, and then the next month he's not even booked, and then that same show I'm working with a guy, and then that guy's booked in the main event the very next show, possibly getting put over to where, you know, to put the strap on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I've only had two actual matches. Maybe three. No, I take that. Yeah, I'd say 2.5, 3 matches technically since being back. And so I'm like, as crazy as it sounds, it's like I'm happy with the body work I put in so far. Yeah, there's things I could have done better right out of the gate, but
yeah. There's always things that you can do better, you know. But it's the matter of just you know, see, like to me, like where you said like you know you're not trying to get the WWE or anything like that, and like that's cool. That's where you've decided, you know, you're at where you've decided you're at. But when you just said that you feel like the body of work that you've done so far, you feel better about that than what you did about your previous run. To me, that's the succeeding that I want guys to. That's the succeeding that I want guys to do is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry, I had you on mute because of the background noise. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying, 100%. Did we lose old Dido here?
He's back.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong button.
You know, but that's
go ahead and repeat what you said in case you missed it.
No, I was saying like that's the succeeding that I want guys to do. Like whether you decide to be just a St. Louis guy or a 60-mile guy or whatever, you know, like to hear Jeremy go, I'm happier about the body of work that I've done right now, currently being back in it compared to what I was back then. Like to me, that's succeeding. And that's what I want guys to do is like, I want, you know, it's not necessarily about, doing all the moves and everything like that, but it's being more proud of what you're doing, being proud of the work. Eventually you're going to have a stinker, you know. Eagle and Reinhar's just had a couple of stinkers over the last couple of weeks, and you know, and your first time that you have a real bad stinker of a match, that's the trying time of the show, you know, or of your journey, because that's your first time. So then you're like, then you start questioning yourself, like, oh man, can I really do this?
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you're gonna. In my first few matches, like I even had with my trainer Brandon, you know, my first, and I was like making mistakes like crazy in my first couple matches, and like, but like it's one of those. It's just weird. It's just a weird thing because like you get super nervous for something that you really want to do, and then you get in there and you just go blank, or you overthink stuff, or you feel like you just suck and why are you doing it and all this stuff. But in reality, that's how you learn, though. I mean, you got to be. Wise man once said, "You got to be shitty in order to get better." You know, no one's gonna be perfect out of the gate. Even very talented individuals, you know, people that are super athletic and they make everything look super easy, or they bump clean, or they have a good look, or they have nice gear, and then they get in the ring and you can have a shit match still, you know. or sometimes even you could be an awesome worker and your opponent could lay a stinker on you, you know.
Right.
You
but
know,
that almost tells
and that turns
if your opponent's a stinker, that's almost the test. If you know that your opponent's a stinker, trying to make that stinker of an opponent look good. That's how you know if you're a really good wrestler. Because even there's been, you know, countless times, like I'm pretty sure people were like, oh, you know, Jason's not a good wrestler or anything like that. But, you know, like whatever, or just in general, just people in general, you know, you can name anybody. And if a good wrestler can pull out a good match with a guy who's not very good, then that shows you the caliber of a worker than what that person is.
Yeah. I've had so the thing is, luckily for me personally, since I've been back and working a heel now and kind of general as the guy running the show, I've been fortunate enough to not have anyone like that so far. So that will be a good test for me.
Right.
When that happens. Hopefully I don't have to do that, but if it does, it'll be a good test.
Yeah. You just have to wait till Dido gets in there. He'll be stinking up the place.
Nah, I think he'd be easy, actually.
Oh, man.
He's just got to get up there on them drop kicks.
Yeah, you think for somebody as big as he is, he'd be able to get a good drop kick.
Dad, I got new toothpaste and I like it.
You got new toothpaste and you like it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. Trying new things and making it work. She got new toothpaste, by the way, and she likes it.
That's life, man. Trying new things out. Don't like that toothpaste? Try another one. Dido, you got any questions for two old guys?
I got one for Juicy. What out of all the matches that you've had in your career before your retirement, and including your two that you had just recently, what is your favorite one, and why?
Well, I got to have a street fight one time with Deacon Cash. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but I'll describe him.
I know who he is.
I'll describe him for you. Deacon's about 5'5", 5'6", and he weighed probably about 200 pounds, 210 at the time. So he's like a fucking like a anvil, you know, built like a fucking wrecking ball. And he did the clothesline from hell finish. He called it the cash line. And he and I worked each other for probably about 4 months straight, almost in some form of fashion, getting involved with each other for about 4 or 5 months straight. We had this street fight, and I thought it was really good. That was probably one of my favorite ones. The other favorite one I had was a MMWA show. We did a 2 battle royal night. So we did 2 different battle royals, and the winner of those battle royals wrestled each other at the end of the night in either like the co-main or main for the #1 contendership to the MMWA championship. And I won the first battle royal, and then Brandon won the second battle royal, and then he and I faced off that night, and we put on a pretty good match. I thought it was like all kudos going to Brandon because he orchestrated the whole thing, but like it was a fun night because, you know, we each worked twice and we were in, you know, 3 out of the 5 or 6 segments of the show. So it was like, it was cool that was like one of the first times like those guys like pushed me or put me in front of the people like that as a face. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. But like the match in itself was really good. And then as goofy as it was, I really did enjoy my last match against Slammer. I thought that was, for what it was a really good match. For what it was, for what I wanted it to be, it came off almost exactly how I wanted it to be, and to me, that's good. Whether you liked it or hated it, but if I had a vision, for what that match I wanted it to look like and how I wanted it to come off, and for it to come off that way, and be exactly how I wanted it to look. And to have as many compliments as I had, not only from him, but like his wife, other wrestlers were like, you know, that was awesome what you did for him, letting him like, you know, get his shit in basically. Because if you've seen a Slammer match, you've seen them all.
Right.
Which is him take the heat the whole fucking match, and then he gets his, you know, his Hulk up, his fucking come back and go home, and that's it. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas I was like, no, dude, I want you to kick the shit out of me for like 4 minutes straight. Like, I don't want to get a single lick in the
Yeah, you
whole
pretty
time.
much let him shine. You pretty much let him shine the whole entire match.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted, because that was the story I was trying to tell. I was like, if he's going to be a guy they're going to push, he needs to look strong.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does he need to look strong, he needs to look dominant.
Right.
And the only way for him to really look dominant is to be pissed off. You know? He needs to be fucking mad. And I was like, I can make people mad.
I'm waiting to see how it was filmed on their end.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I am too. I'm just curious to see how Dilly got, what angles he got, because from the two angles I saw, like, it wasn't bad. Like, that big boot at the end, he didn't even touch me.
Oh, that's
like
good.
it didn't even touch me. But when you look at the angle, the one that Slammer's wife recorded, it looked like I ate that motherfucker.
Right.
It looked like I took it straight to the chin, you know. But
and that's good that it looked like that though too.
Well, that's kind of why I put my hands up like that, to where if he didn't get it up to my chin, like to my face, he was at least going to hit my arms that were close to my face to make me react that way.
Right.
So I brought my arms up like that on purpose, not to like protect myself or block it. I don't care about getting kicked in the face. If I get kicked in the face, I get kicked in the face, you know? But
right.
I wanted to have that bigger area, so if he did hit me somewhere, he hit me somewhere, you know?
Right.
So like he didn't even clip me at all. Like, I ate all that shit and made it look like he took my head off.
Yeah, that's good. Like, I enjoyed it from, you know, watching it, you know, from the perspective that we were. You know, it was a good match.
No, I had a lot of fun doing it. It was a great time. Like, people ate up the whole me making fun of them shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, he loved it, which was great. His wife thought it was funny. You know, I caught Tony giggling, belly laughing, hold himself.
Right.
You know? So I was like,
I mean,
so
that's kind of one of the elements of wrestling, especially if you're going to be a heel. Like, a heel's got to not be afraid to look ridiculous sometimes. You know, you can't always just be the cool heel.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing, is like, as serious as we want the shooter to be, like, in that environment, in that place, in order to get over, like, you got to be able to be that goofy, like,
yeah.
You know, people, you know, take advantage of you and make an ass out of yourself type of heel, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, and the funny thing is like, you can still definitely be like the shooter, but then have those little elements that makes you have more character and more things that the fans can grasp onto, meaning like they can either go against you or they can like you. The more elements that you have, the more three-dimensional you are, the more elements that people have to feed off of you compared to somebody who's just completely one-dimensional. That's one of the.
One thing that I always wanted to pride myself on and work on and be good at is to have range.
Right. And well, I mean, and that's to me that's the test of a good wrestler, is like, how much range do you have? You know what I mean? Because like you could be the most supreme athletic person, have 5-star matches, you know, every single time that you go out there. But if that's the only thing that you can do and you don't have the ability to, you know, do anything else other than that, then to me, you're not a great, like, I want to see range and like, I want to see a guy who can, like, I'll use a hypothetical, you know, use Cody Rhodes. Like, if you go from where Cody Rhodes started at, to the dashing character, to the Stardust character, to the when he first started on the Indies, and then he became the American Nightmare, to the suit wearing guy, to what he is now, like, that's range. That, to me, that's a good wrestler. Somebody
it's
like
also growth too, like,
yeah, somebody like Jericho,
to keep going.
like all of that range that Jericho had over the years. the range that somebody like Seth Rollins has had, all the different types of gimmicks and stuff like that. Like that's range to me. And that's somebody that you could throw them in there and be like,
right. That's what I was getting ready to say. Like, I want to be like, if people who, if they do see my work, or if they do see what type of character work I can do, or even wrestle like that style, whatever, like they can go, okay, we need even if it's for like this show, for example, for like, I need someone for this show that can fit this spot and we don't have anybody.
Right.
I think I got a guy, you know, I'll call him and see what we can get.
Right.
And like having the humility to not like, well, that's not my character right now. My character's supposed to be this. Yeah. Over here, maybe.
Right.
But all you're doing is pigeonholing yourself if you be like, oh, well, my character wouldn't do that. Oh, really? Right. Wouldn't he? I was actually talking to there's a fella. I don't know how we are with naming names on here, so I'll just remain people nameless for a moment. Yeah. For the most part. I mean, I've dropped a couple names, but in a positive way, not in a bad way. But there was a guy I was talking to today, actually. My sister's dating him, and his dad works for SICW. And he, we were talking about this today with like ego and people like going from one place to the next and going, oh, well, as long as it's not going to hurt the character over here. Yeah. I don't care if they work over there. It's like, first off, and if you're a promoter and you're going to be like, oh, well, if you're going to work over here at this place, don't do anything to tarnish your character over here. Well, what do you mean by that? Like by losing? Is that what you mean? Mm-hmm. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it's wrestling. It's supposed to be entertainment.
Yeah.
The
only caveat to that is like, I could understand if you're a champion, then you might not want to like if you're not holding a belt for any particular company. Like if you do happen to lose at the other company, make sure you lose it in a way to where it's not like gonna hurt the standing of where you're at there. Because today
I'm saying like it has to make sense, right? Obviously, it has to make sense. But my point is like, so because I was talking about a very similar situation. So I'm not putting anybody on blast, or I'm not saying anything negative to anyone. This is just a thought I had. And remember me telling you when I went over to watch Ryan wrestle at CHWA, and they double booked someone to wrestle Maddie, and I was like, hey, I can wrestle her, so you don't have to double book anybody. And they decided to continue with the double booking, which is fine. They don't owe me anything. I just showed up, so I was okay with it. But then afterwards I was like, hey, if you need someone to work with Maddie, I can do it, let me know. And I had one person who was either in charge of promoting or is about to be in charge of promoting tell me, no, we got something different planned for you. Not ever having a conversation with me before about it. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. No one's ever said anything to me about coming over here and wrestling. So how can you have something planned for me if we never had a conversation? Right. When were you going to ask? Was like my first thought. And then the other person said, well, this is her cool down match after winning the championship at the last show. And I'm like, okay, but what's that got to do with me working her at all? This is my thought. I didn't say anything out loud because I was trying to be respectful. And then the thought was, well, we want to get someone working her that's, doing something kind of big around the St. Louis area that has kind of a, he's kind of going right now to keep her on the upswing. And he says, thinking about maybe asking Ricky if he'll come over and work her. Not Ricky Rodriguez, Ricky Cruz. Because Ricky Rodriguez is already there working. So he wasn't referencing him. He was referencing Ricky Cruz. And I thought to myself, yeah, what? Like, wait a minute. You want the current MMWA champion, a guy who wrestles all over the country and has wrestled all over the world, to come to Cottage Hills and wrestle your international champion that is not an international championship because it's in Cottage Hills.
Right.
And lose? Like what? Like what do you like? that was my thought. But and the person, I was like, hey, if that's what you want to do, call him. Like see what he says. Yeah, absolutely, I get it. If you don't want a no name like myself or someone that no one knows to work her and give her another. I have no problem putting people over. Clearly, I don't care. I have no problem losing at all. Clean, dirty, I don't care. But like, it just didn't. It was almost. I wasn't insulted by no means because I have no reason to be insulted. But if I would have been someone else that had been working for a while or had been working in St. Louis for the last year and a half, or a couple months, or even like 6-7 months, and they're like, yeah, and if they would have said something like that, I probably would have been a little insulted.
Right.
Like, where's his ego coming from?
Right.
Where's that thought process coming from? It's not about like, oh, we need this person to work that person because it's like you got to get people who can work in there to build people and make people better.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
You're not going to get any better just working the same people over and over and over and over.
Right.
And over again.
Right. Now you can have good matches with people, sure. But like you got to get some variety in there. And that's one thing we were talking about is like there's too many people going, "Oh, well, it's going to hurt my character if I work a certain way or do this." I don't give a fuck, dude. You're going to put a fucking red clown nose on me and have me walk around in big ass shoes. If that's what you need me to do for the show, that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
I can do that. If you need a guy that needs to be serious and really wants to rip someone's fucking arm off or leg off, I can do that too.
Right.
If you want me to be a baby face and get my ass kicked and pull out a victory, guess what? I can do that too. Like it's. Right. I take pride in being able to do that with not having a whole lot of experience like a lot of these other people do.
Right.
It's just that part to me comes a little more natural. Being able to move and shift and change and come up with ideas. Now, I may not be a very good wrestler, but my heart's in the right place.
I mean, what is a good wrestler though?
You know what I mean? Like someone who does all the high impact shit. Those guys that can do all the upsy daisies and the fucking German suplexes with or like the dragon suplexes and shit.
Right.
Well, I could probably do it if I practiced it. But.
To me that's not a great. That's a guy. It's a guy who can do great wrestling moves,
right?
But not necessarily a great worker. Like he could be a great worker also, but like I don't think that's not my bar of being a great worker.
Mm.
Because this is one of the things. Like I feel wrestling's kind of what's that word? What I feel is a good wrestler might not be what you feel is a good wrestler. It's subjective.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But I still think, honestly, at the end of it, it's are you entertaining?
Right.
Are you entertaining? Are you keeping people entertained in what you're doing?
That's
regardless of, like that's to me what's probably the most important is are you entertaining or can you entertain? Regardless, I can do like I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna work something in with that snap suplex. Like I'm gonna find something I can do that's entertaining after I do that move. Whether it's the big gum chewing, maybe lean on the ropes and talk some shit, or something,
Right.
Or maybe even come up with or compliment myself, because I tell you what, like ever since I started doing that move,
do a self high five as you're getting up from it, or a pat on the back,
because like if there's one thing I can say for sure with 100% confidence is that snap suplex is clean as fuck.
It really is.
It's so clean, and I don't even know how I did it or other than just doing it, other than just doing it. And I obviously drew inspiration from the Chris Benoit snap suplex, or even the oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, but there's just certain things that I do that I draw inspiration from, and that to me right now, that's like, even though it's something as simple and silly as a snap suplex, it's like that move looks fucking good. And if I have a move that looks good and I can do something after it to even be more entertaining, it makes it just that much. It makes that part of the match itself.
Well, yeah,
more entertaining.
That's one of the elements of being able to figure out who the character is. You know what I mean? That's one of the things I've been telling Dido is like trying to figure out who the character is on multiple levels, not just in the ring, but also out of the ring. How is he? How is he going to talk? You know, is he going to be cocky? Is he going to be not cocky? Is he going to be flamboyant? Is he going to be this? Is he going to be this?
Yeah.
You know, so like
what's really funny about that is like, I know like we really like we're shooting on getting more of the shooter in to like this character, but I feel like with this particular crowd at where I'm working currently the most is I feel like Juicy is going to be more I feel like that the more Juicy character is going to be more prominent and might get more gas,
right?
If that makes sense.
Well,
than shooter.
The funny thing is to me, like the way that I see the character is like I see the character one and the same.
Mm-hmm. Like I can see like flowing in and out of it. Yeah.
Shooter is the aggressive guy, but Juicy's the guy, the shit talker.
Yeah, like almost like flowing in and out of it.
Right.
Becoming one and the same.
Yeah, to me, they're one and the same because like this is when I went back to what I was talking about, like Cody and them guys, like they're able to turn stuff on and turn stuff off on a dime.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can move in between two characters at the same time, but they're not, and make them seem like they're not two different characters.
Yeah.
You know, while Juicy is this one character and Shooter's this character, but if you can flow them, mesh them into one character, and
I think that's what we're going to end up seeing here on accident.
Make it seamless. That's the mark to me of a good wrestler.
Yeah, just because like I like to be goofy and like I don't mind making an ass out of myself to get a reaction. You know, I don't mind being the class clown. I don't mind being, you know, the one that gets laughed at if I'm trying to get people to laugh. You know, and that goes back whenever I was a kid. You know, I'd like to tell jokes or do impressions or whatever, but like, so like, you know, would the shooter lay on his stomach while Slammer's standing on top of him and yell, "Get him off of me! Somebody help me!" You know, like somebody help me. No, the shooter would be like, "This motherfucker," and roll over and snatch it, and then roll and snatch a leg. But for that particular moment, I was like, dude, this is gonna be funny as shit if I say this. And like a lot of the stuff I just come up with in the middle of doing it, like, you know. And there's a lot of things that I do that I just do on a whim and don't plan out. And to me, even if they don't laugh, to me it's funny. So so I have fun with it. I don't care.
That's a good thing to do because like this is something I was telling Eagle the other day. He messaged me after his tryout that he had, and he essentially told me he was on the pre-show and everything, and he goes, all I did was an up and over, some arm drags, and enziguri, a shining wizard, and his comeback, and then the splash. And he goes, but the crowd was behind me the whole entire time. And I told him, I go, that's good because if you don't, the key is you don't want to demand the crowd's response. You want to do something to get the crowd to respond, not if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be like, "Come on, guys, clap for me, clap for me."
Right.
You want to be able to
thing too.
You want to be able to do. You want to be able to do something like do that spot where you know Juicy's laying on his belly and Slammer's standing on his back, flexing, and he's sitting there going, "Scream, help me, help me, help me." Because something like that gets the crowd to react without
asking for him to react.
Yeah.
And so one thing too, we got to get old Eagle to quit doing, if he's doing it still, is when he comes out, is the come on, let's go, and get all ramped up and shit.
Yeah.
He should come out and be more of a presence, not necessarily shouting, hey, come on, let's get riled up. He should come out and maybe puff his chest out or something,
Right.
like the old school Superman pose, or like maybe just bring his arms out and kind of just do the old, not the Chavo Guerrero, but kind of like get the arms out with the cape that he's got,
Right.
and
Rad
just kind of do the little hand motion, like, yeah, just give it to me, just give me some.
Rad Relic says, I can tell you shitting in your pants gets a crowd response.
Yeah. Yeah, like you don't need to come on, let's go. Every single baby face when they come out does that shit.
Yeah.
So Dido, don't do that.
Yeah. Like I told Eagle, it's kind of like this. Think of it like this. It's a conversation between the crowd and two workers. The two workers are the main conversationalist, and the fans are there yelling topics for the two workers to talk about.
Yeah.
So like if you hear a fan go, Shooter, you suck. Oh yeah, whatever. Dido, you're a bitch. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you what a bitch is. What? No. Because then like they're telling you what to do, and then you do it, and then that's gonna pop them.
Yeah.
So you listen to them as much as you can without letting them dictate the whole match. So you pop things in here and there to try to get a reaction from them, but at the same time, you try to feed from them of getting the reaction from them without demanding it, because then it's too hokey. It becomes your typical, I guess you could say your typical indie.
Yeah.
Where you're begging for engagement.
A response. Yeah. You're having them like cheer for your move that you're about to do instead of having them cheer on their own after you do your move.
Right. Rad Relic says that happened at the last Dynamo event. The shitting of the pant. The shitting of the pants. Was that
Who was that supposed to be?
Did Snitch poop his pants at the last Dynamo show?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think he did, for real.
You was there though.
Yeah, I don't think anyone actually shit their pants. Maybe it was a figure of speech.
No, maybe it was this. I thought I heard somebody say something about it when I was at the show at the end.
You thought you thought, oh, they. No. I said that. Where was I? Oh no, I was. Actually, I don't know if I did say this to you guys at that Christmas show that I did. Mm-hmm. That private Christmas show I did. I bumped myself so hard I farted.
Ooh. Yeah.
I've done that. So I mean, that could have been dangerous if you had to shart or something. But like, no, man, I bumped myself so hard off a. I don't even know what the fuck it was. Could have been a hip toss or something. But I got my ass up there and I bumped real hard and a little toot came out. I was like, ooh. If that would have been a Riaz, I'd have been in trouble.
He's a good wrestler.
Good thing I wore black.
Who's a good wrestler, John?
Who's a good wrestler? What do you mean?
The people that are watching this.
You can see people that are watching this?
Yeah, this is a live stream.
I see that, but I don't. Where do you see that at?
It's on. It's on my screen. If you're on a phone, you probably won't be able to see it. Snitch. He's talking about Snitch. Yeah, I like Snitch. Snitch is.
Oh wait, here we go. We got some. Rad Relics. Who's that?
That's my buddy John, my neighbor.
Hello, John.
He lives down in Fredericktown.
Okay.
I'm his neighbor. I live on his property.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Nice.
All right, boys. Good being on the podcast with you, even though I didn't talk much. I enjoyed listening to what you all had to say, but I got to get ready for school tomorrow.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All righty, I'll see you guys.
See you, man.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone actually legit shit their pants at the show, but
he said there was a stain, so I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there.
I don't remember. If it happened after I was done working. So
Static is my live-in sex slave. No, not a chance, John. You wish. We're not going to turn it into this.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What is something Dido asked me? What with this new place that we potentially might be getting? What is something that you want to see out of it?
Honestly, I mean, consistency would be the biggest one.
Right.
You know, consistency, people being there.
Mm-hmm.
Because consistency should equal growth, in my opinion.
Right.
But that would be probably the biggest thing. And I know it's going to be tough for some of us because with working and whatnot, but still, like, at least having somebody there on a daily basis, or at least every other day basis, you know?
Right.
I mean, I would say maybe 3 days a week minimum,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Because with me working as far away as I am right now, it's going to be tough for me to get back into town and then go, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, hopefully by summertime, they got me back closer to home, because then it'll make things easier for me to leave work and then go to the gym if someone needs it open, or if we're meeting up for like a late night training sesh, or to get some practice matches in, or whatever. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they do have, like, we have another person. We have a person that, or I had a person I was talking to about being in wrestling shape. And I'm like, dude, there's not, unless you are you work matches multiple times a week, you know, every fucking weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's nobody around here that is going to be in ring shape. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, to put on a 30 to 40 minute match and not be blown up, there's not very many guys in this area that can do that.
Right.
You know, unless you're fucking on TV and you're booked every weekend, you're not in quote unquote wrestling shape or ring shape, you know.
Yeah.
But it would be nice, if possible, to have matches with guys that are working now as quote unquote practice matches, to help, you know, give them live rounds going into them getting booked at other places, you know, and being able to put some miles on them, you know.
Right.
I know I would benefit from that.
Right.
Personally, I know I would, because I feel like that's what makes me get better, is doing live rounds, you know.
Right.
And
I mean, because you can only do so much bumping and training and drills.
Yeah.
And
So it's
that.
Like,
you eventually gotta get into the mix.
Yeah. So basically, what I would like to do at some point is like, hey, okay, what moves are we trying to learn here? And we get those moves down, and then that same night, you put in a practice match and you implement the moves that you've been practicing or wanting to learn in said quote unquote practice match in a live round situation, you know. Whether you're wrestling for 5 minutes and you're like, okay, cool, we're good here, that was a good spot,
Mm-hmm.
or you wrestle a fucking 10-minute actual match. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, because I think that's one thing, like, you know, I have aspirations to want to do a package pile driver. But there's a lot of people that when you say the word pile driver, they're like, ugh.
Right.
The first thought is, have you practiced it?
Right.
You know, and like, even though I know how to do a package pile driver, I haven't done one in 8 years, 7 years.
Right.
You know, so I'm not just going to grab somebody and do it. I want to be able to have confidence and have a crash pad, and.
What would you think about like if you could get like like the grappling dummies and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I think there's a grappling dummy out there that's like kind of crunched up in that position.
Yeah.
What if we was to obtain a crash dummy like that to practice certain things on?
I mean, you could, but to me personally, like, yeah, you can. What I would do for like top rope stuff, if you're doing stuff, like learning how to do an elbow drop or learning how to do a leg drop or a moonsault, like those guys are good for that. But because, in my opinion, you can't substitute controlling another person's body and then like the resistance and the weight distribution, of like I said, quote unquote, a live round. So even though those things do work and they have their purposes, you can even use them as like for like a blow up workout, throwing them or moving them or whatever. But I think, and like, again, like the top rope stuff or learning how to springboard onto somebody or something, like those do serve a purpose, in my opinion. I think it'd be great to have one. However, if I'm going to be practicing a package pile driver, unfortunately, you need someone to practice on. And me knowing enough about the move and doing it before, I have the confidence that I'm not going to hurt anybody doing it. It's just I want to have the confidence in doing it to anyone that I can get my hands on. You know what I'm saying? So like I just don't want to grab, and that's why you use a crash pad. When you're first doing those type of things, you use a crash pad. Same thing with like, in my opinion, DDTs. Like any type of DDTs, if you're learning how to take one or learning how to give one, that should be done on a crash pad.
Yeah. So, another thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do helmets, like protective helmets.
Oh yeah, like the sparring helmets or whatever.
Yeah, WWE actually does them, and I know the company that WWE uses, and they're not very expensive at all. So being able to
that should help with like getting your bell rung or concussions and shit.
So having new guys come in, new people that are just learning how to do things bumping wise, or even hell, if you want to do the package power driver, take the guy who's taking the power driver, slap the helmet on him.
Yeah,
absolutely. That way, if an accident was to happen, you have the potential to be able to help them out a little bit.
That's something too, like Dom. You know how Dom, like 1 minute he could do he would do a normal back bump, and then literally not even a minute later he'd fucking whip his shit back and smack his melon on the mat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like he would be a guy, even though he had been progressing, he's a guy you'd put the fucking helmet on until he can consistently take a back bump without smacking his fucking head on the mat.
Yeah, pretty much the way we're going to use that is anything new or big. Like say somebody wants to learn how to do like Dido's little flipping thing. Slap the helmet on, learn how to do it just in case you fall or get dropped or whatever.
Yeah.
Anything that's like anything that could be a dangerous or big impactful move that you could potentially land on your head with, slap the helmet on.
Yeah. And to change gears here a little bit, I'm super pumped for Rich's match against Nick.
Yeah, are you going to go?
I think I potentially could be booked if they don't have somebody for someone. So
it's January 6th. I'm gonna take off and
I'm gonna have to leave work a little early to get down there.
So it's January 6th. Let's see.
Yeah. So Saturday. I might be. It's a potential. I could be a last minute stand-in booking potentially.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get everybody to go.
Yeah. I would very much like to watch Rich because I think, even though he is a smaller guy, which there's a lot of small. I mean, like I said, like there's a lot of small people now. I was talking to Chris Exodus about this a couple of times. I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like I'm standing in a locker room where I'm not the smallest person, and I'm not the smallest person by a long shot.
Right.
You know, like the majority of the guys in this room are my height or smaller. It's fucking crazy.
Right. I mean,
And
Rich is small, but he's cut.
No, yeah, no. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, just
Yeah.
I know he's a smaller guy, but like, Rich can work already, and he's been putting the time, and he's been doing all the right things. Same as Dido, same as
Right.
Trevor. You know, they've been putting in their time, going to places, doing that, and it's showing.
Right.
Oh, your neighbors.
Where are you doing static? I was on a McDonald's group trying to get nuggets.
I don't know what that means.
They have the adult Happy Meals, and they're selling like McNugget toys, and he's trying to collect all of them.
Oh.
I haven't went to McDonald's yet. I'm going to go tomorrow and see if I can't get some for you.
Yeah. I'm out of the loop.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend is retarded.
Well,
he's a toy collector.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's like me, a toy collector.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm super pumped for Rich's match coming up.
Yeah, me too.
And I think he's gonna be just fine.
Yeah. Hey, John, do you want to go to Pacific, Missouri on January 6th? He said if I get the ones he needs, he'll give me $5. Fantastic. Yeah, it's for wrestling. One of my guys is debuting in Pacific.
So who all did you have on here tonight? Just Dido?
Yeah, just Dido, me, Dido, you. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that little meeting, and I was like, you know what? I'll hit this link here and see if they're still on. And sure enough, you guys were.
Yeah, I purposely stayed on long because I knew that you were coming. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I just I don't know, man. Like we got a lot of stuff going. It's weird. What's really weird is because like you've got Shaw over at CHWA right now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Trevor and Rich basically now doing the PWE thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
and
Trevor
Rich is also booked for CCW.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Nice. So Rich is in CCW.
Yeah.
And then you got me over at the MMWA.
And then Ryan's also going to be booked over at IW.
Oh, yeah,
IWAP.
IEW? Yeah. Oh, IWAP. Yeah, and IEW.
Yeah.
And IEW. So
yeah.
So like we're kind of like spread out. not everybody's in one spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's good though, because like it's like I told Dido earlier, like it's you or Rich was on here too, so so like it's you guys making the connections. Actually, it's helping me in a way because it's you guys. You know, I'm making connections, but you're also making the connections on your own, and you guys are getting your own name out there. And then when you're like, oh, who'd you work with or who trained you or blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, Jason Static at school, and they're like, oh, really? I never heard of that guy. Well, you're pretty damn good, kid. Like the whole thing, like with Eagle Eye doing the tryout for Wrestling Revolver with Sammy Callahan and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I told him, I go, dude, I go, look at it like this, like, you know, no disrespect to any of the other guys that were at the tryout, but like if Sammy liked, Sammy picked one guy before him. And I go, look at that, man. I go, you've been wrestling 7 months and Sammy picked you over all of these other guys who are just as phenomenal. But the only thing that you did, and it's because of what you did, and what you did was different. you sold like a motherfucker, and you showed emotion.
Right.
I was like, that's the basics, like selling and showing emotion.
Yeah.
And you got beat out by a guy who's wrestling 7 years and who was trained by Seth Rollins.
Right.
So like, don't be ashamed of that. Like, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Like, be proud of that.
Right.
That, and then that mask. Did you see that mask that he had, or that he's getting
the drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said a mix between drawing 1 and 3.
That new mask is going to be fucking sick.
Yeah, if it comes off like it's supposed to, yeah.
Yeah, I hope it does.
Yeah, no, Trevor's gonna be good Trevor will be good once he gets out of his own way mentally.
Right.
And that, in my opinion, contributes to a number of different things for him, whether it be the getting in the gym, or getting himself his his focus is wrestling.
Yeah.
Like at least that's the impression he gives, right?
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to do it too until it gets really fucking hard. And then what?
Yeah. And he's got a hard task because he's one of the guys that wants to go as far as he possibly can. So
right.
Like I told him, I go, he's got to work different. Like, like where you have the ability, you and Ryan, you guys are the older guys, and you guys are perfectly fine with just hanging around and doing shows around here. Yeah. I go, but he's, as bad as this might sound, is like Eagle Eye doesn't need to worry about making friends with everybody, being best friends and boys. Like, he needs to worry about the work of it and making as much money as he can to help feed his wrestling addiction.
Yeah.
So he can go further. Like,
that's why kind of like when I was quote unquote preaching in the group chat the other day, it's because like sometimes people need to be reminded, like, nothing's like anything that you want to work for or anything goal wise you're trying to achieve is not fucking easy.
Right.
It's never going to be easy. If it was easy, everyone can do it. The famous fucking speech. If it's easy, everyone can do it.
Right.
But if it was easy, everyone would be successful. No, it's fucking hard.
Right.
Like, I've gotten compliments, in my professional life. I think my oh, sorry, I was reading another text message. But like in my quote unquote shoot job, like I've been working my ass off.
Right.
I've been working my ass off at my shoot job to put myself in a position to where I can help with this whole gym situation and also improve my financial my financial well-being with my family. You know what I mean? Like, that's been my goal from the jump, is I wanted to make a certain amount of money so I can provide for my family in a specific way that I want to. And no, it's not easy. It's really fucking hard. But for me, with wrestling, what's not hard is for me to figure out how to make people better, even if it costs me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, even if it's at my expense, I still want to find a way to make somebody better.
Right.
Or make a move better. Or, ooh, this would come off better. Or, dude, have you ever caught a motherfucker off the top rope into a stunner? Better. Like shit like that. Like, I am willing to do shit like that. And it's not easy work. And it's not shit that's easy to do. But you got to put the work in to do it.
Yeah. The hardest part is getting people on board to do it.
Yeah, it's a mental thing, man. You got to be mentally tough. And that's what I'm trying to, like, in that little rant I went on, was trying to get people to understand, like, discipline is not easy, And it's really fucking hard to be dedicated to something and show discipline to it. It's easy to get off the horse and get back on, you know. I'm not the most dedicated person either, you know. It's tough.
Yeah.
When you got real life going on and you have other goals and other shit you want to do and you got, you know, kids and, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things you need to put before yourself, and that makes it hard to be disciplined. It makes it hard to be dedicated. But these guys are young enough. Now, Rich, he's kind of in the middle because he's got kiddos and he's got a family to provide for.
Yeah.
He's kind of in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
But I still think he can do it. I still think he can be successful around this area for sure, you know?
Yeah.
And
I can even see him going a little bit further than out here.
Oh yeah.
Really
I could see him traveling and going places because, like, he's willing to invest in himself.
Right.
You know, he's willing to invest in his look. He's willing to invest in the character. And he doesn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a fuck. Who knows?
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm a pro wrestler. This is what I want to do. And this is my character, and this is what I want to. This is how I want to come off. Ain't that fucking awesome? You know, like, he don't give a fuck, bro. You know, like, I love that. Like, some people try to keep it hush hush, or, you know, some people are kind of like, not embarrassed, but semi-embarrassed. You know,
right?
But it's crazy. Like, once you get into that spot.
But,
I'm pumped for all these guys. I'm just nervous for. I'm actually, you know, Ryan makes me a little nervous because he's working wherever he can get booked, which is fine at first, because I think the more reps Ryan can get, the better he's going to get.
Right.
Because he's got a good mind for it.
Yeah.
Like, and he wants to learn, and he genuinely gives a shit about what his work looks like.
Yeah.
You know,
I think his biggest problem is he's kind of like he is kind of like Eagle almost, where he is his own worst enemy. I think what happened is he sees the reaction that Eagle's got, and he's
trying to, like, duplicate it, and he's not getting it, so it's kind of bumming him out.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Well, the thing is, like, Ryan, he's investing in his look, he's investing in his gear.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a matter of time. So, like, what Ryan needs, honestly, what's going to help him is time.
Yeah.
Time. You know, time in the ring, getting matches, working, you know, that's what's going to benefit him, I think.
Right.
Because once he starts putting in good work and he's a good worker, that's going to get him a little bit further than the Viking gimmick, I think.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I told him about that the other day when we filmed some promos for him on Thursday, on Saturday, and I told him, I go, you know, I go, you know, with what Sammy said to what Sammy said about Viking gimmicks and how they don't really get booked in any of the bigger places or anything like that, only in the small areas. And I told him, I go, I'm not saying go away from it. I go, but
don't.
Yeah, I'm saying maybe lean more towards because he kind of has the whole punk rock image, you know. His music.
Well, the thing is, he can still do that for now. And if you're gonna make a faction out of it, if you're actually gonna make a faction out of it, then I think that gives it more.
Right.
If you're able to actually get this faction thing to go, like, to come off, then that's fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, like, and Rich made a good point. Like, his character is he's twisting his character onto more of like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing.
Yeah.
And which I think is brilliant. I think it's fantastic. But what Rich is going to have to do in order to make that make sense to people once he starts getting out there is he's going to have to cut more promos.
Exactly.
As both characters.
Right.
Or both parts of that character, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will help get the understanding of what his gimmick is over more, especially with promoters and people that are going to shows. or
Right.
at least familiar with him. Because then they're going to be like, wait a minute, this dude was just wearing a fucking top hat and a suit coat 10 minutes ago. Now he's a fucking wolf. What the fuck's going on? You know, like,
Right.
you know, like, what the fuck's going on? But
that's something I told him. I go, I
love the idea.
That's notoriously been a very hard gimmick to play, is playing two separate characters at the same time that are diametrically opposed from each other.
Yeah. And
it's a hard gimmick to play unless you have some acting chops.
Yeah. So for me,
and you have to,
even if he was like, because
you also have to be willing to look a little stupid at times.
Oh yeah. And he made the comment like, yeah, I could even like drink like this elixir or something that turns me into. And I'm like, that is a great idea, and you can film yourself doing it and saying like it's showtime or something, like pull like a Beetlejuice, you know,
right?
Or like here we go, or and this is where the fun begins, or you know, something like campy and movie, and you know, something that people are going to recognize and go, oh shit, that's funny, and then boom, you come out as Wolfsbane, you know, or Ryxyr, Wolfsbane, you know what I'm saying? So like, it can work. I'm confident it can work.
Yeah.
As long as he commits to it and puts out all the different promos that he needs to in order to build around it.
Right.
Promos
are going to have to be the thing that builds you guys differently than what other people are.
Yeah. And for me, like, I'm still figuring out, which is, you know, I'm Mr., you know, how can I make things better? How's that?
Right.
All right, that's cool, but how do I make it better? Ooh, I just did that. Now, okay, now I want to make that better. And I always have ideas and things I want to bounce off people, and how ways I think things should go and how you should tell this story. And I'm the Mr. Storyteller idea guy, but I don't even know. I think my biggest thing is I have so many different ideas. I'm not even focused on myself mainly.
Right.
You know, I'm more worried about telling stories or helping people's stuff come off. And I'm like, but what about me? Like, I got to figure out who I am still. You know, I'm a heel, but like, I'm still new to these people at where I'm working now. And I'm trying to hone in on who is this particular heel. You know, what's his shtick, you know?
Right.
But I think that's just going to come with, it's going to be like an appearance by appearance basis. And I don't think it's going to happen overnight.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to happen overnight, but
no. I think it's going to be one of those things I'm going to figure out on the fly.
With the reactions that you've already had so far, I think, you know, I don't think your gimmick is going to be a hard sell for them.
Yeah. And I think also like, oh man, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But also I know I put in at least believable work too.
Right.
So that's also nice.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps me. So if I want to be a little more goofy, I can. Or if I want to be more serious, I can. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. My promo for this month's show coming up. Like, I have an idea what I want to do, but I wish I knew like what direction we were going first, so I can gauge my promo based around that information. And I don't have any of that information, so it's like I'm like shit. So
what's up, Shane? My buddy Shane.
Rise and grind, picker.
Smoking a cigar and working. Fantastic.
But for me, it's more of a. I think when I'm going to gear this promo towards is, all right, you know, I came in and I let myself get distracted. I let myself get sidelined and got sucked into this campy horse shit fucking show. And like, you know, I need a win here. You know, like playtime's over.
Right.
You know, I think what this promo needs is more of a, all right. I know I made more of a serious promo the last couple times, and you know, like, oh, I'm gonna hurt you and all this kind of stuff. But like, that was just kind of like laying the groundwork of who Shooter was.
Right.
But for me, like with this particular promo, it's like, okay, you guys have seen me twice. I've lost twice. I need a fucking win here.
Right.
And now you're putting me in a triple threat. Well, those of you that know anything about triple threats, there are no fucking rules. Which means I can do whatever the fuck I want to win.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I can do whatever I have to do to win. And
Right.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Exactly.
And you guys are about to see something that I've been saying this whole time, is I'm a guy that can legit fuck you up.
Right.
I can legit hurt you, and you're about to see it now. Now you done fucked up. You know, you put my back up against the wall. I'm 0-2. I'm trying to build some momentum here.
Right.
So now you're gonna get it.
Right. I think if you need help filming the promo, let me know. I can. We can meet up and film it.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna do it. Hope maybe we'll see, because I know I'm off on Wednesday, so I might, depending on weather and circumstance and where I'm gonna shoot it. So I like to go on location and film. I don't want to film in like my car,
Right.
like a lot of guys do. No disrespect to folks that do it.
Yeah.
But
no campy car promos.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a badass car, like if you got like a McLaren or a Porsche or something shit like that.
I mean, I want to do one like in a gym setting, you know, like in the weight room, you know. But
right.
Like, I can't really do that. But maybe once we get the gym rolling, we can shoot promos from the gym.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
I'm gonna have a spot that's a spot where we can do shit like that at.
Yeah.
In the building, like a little promo spot where you can, you know, like a little set of lockers set up where you can sit down in front of it, or you can stand in front of it, like a little backstage curtain area where you can stand by.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be anything. But like that's what I'm saying. Like it's one of those. I want to put thought into my promo and put thought into promos, so at least I have that in my pocket as well. I want to get good at that.
Right.
So then, yeah, you may only get 7 to 8 minutes of him, but those promos building up to it, or even after it, are part of the package as well. So
right. Yeah, and that's part of the thing that I've told the guys about standing out, being different. Like, there's so many guys that just go on Facebook, they post a picture of the show, and then they put a bunch of text, and then they tag their opponent, and they say, "I'm gonna get you," and they don't ever do a promo, and it's just guys arguing back and forth over text message.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to read that shit.
Yeah. I'd rather watch a video of you talking shit to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me have to sit there and read your promos.
Yeah.
If other guys want to do it, perfectly fine. But guys that come out of our camp, they're not going to do that. No.
Yeah. No,
if you got to shoot 3 promos on one guy just to go back and forth at him, do it.
Yeah. I mean, you got a fucking phone.
Yeah.
It ain't got to be pretty.
It takes minutes to film a promo.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like my first one I did, I took me like almost 3 hours to really get what I wanted out, because I was overthinking it, you know, and I would start saying it and I'd fumble fuck a word and I'd start over. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
And then, or like me just kind of getting, or like I'd be in the middle and a leaf would fall down and hit me in the fucking face. And I'm like, of course. I was having a good take in this leaf, just like, punked me out.
John said you could do some cool shit with a good editor. Yeah, he's right though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like me and Ryan did the promos the other day, and we did 5 takes. 5 takes.
What promos?
He had to do an introduction promo for IWA.
Okay.
And then because he's in a six pack challenge.
IWA. Like where's that at?
IWA Productions over in Illinois by like Mount Vernon.
But who's running that one?
I know Ace has got the book. Ace Hawkins has got the book.
Yeah, that's his shit.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the one that runs it, but I know he's got the book. You know, but and then we did one for promo battle.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the ace that runs the place. Ace Hawkins, you know.
Yeah, no, I've worked Ace before.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun too.
Yeah, Ace was always fun to work with.
Yeah, true story. I had to work him and Brandon in a fucking handicap match once. That was fun.
Me, Brandon, and Ace had all kinds of matches together because we were like a little crew at one time, and we'd go over to IWAU over in Only, Illinois. We'd go over there, and then we'd go down to Tennessee, and then they jumped me out of the group down in Tennessee. They jumped me out of the group in IWAU. Espinosa. And so it was always a fun time. So like it was me, Ace, and Brandon were like a little crew for a good while.
Yep. No, it was an interesting time.
Yeah. It was a wild time. And then we took Aiden Young for a while. Dave Osborne, Chase, LMC. We take a bunch of people with us all the time.
Yeah, I'd like to. Because when does IWA normally run their shows?
I think they're a weekend. I think they're on the last.
That's what I was saying. Like, which weekend is it?
I think it's the last weekend of the month, I believe. I'll have to ask Ryan. He knows.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'm trying. My goofy ass is trying to.
I told Ryan.
You said IAW?
Yeah, IWA.
IWA, my bad. IWA.
Yeah.
Is it? It's not Mid-South, is it?
No.
So just IWA West Wrestling. Let's take a look at this. See what I can find.
Here, it's IWAU or no IWAP, IWA Productions.
IWA Productions. Yep, that's it. Nope, not message. Damn it. Oh my god. I knew I had the needs. There we go. Follow.
Yeah. Yeah, they're over in the Mount Vernon area. And he's supposed to be, I think, Shaw and DK and Rich are going to be booked over there.
Really?
Yeah. As a team.
Yeah, because I think DK's brother works over there.
Yeah, I don't know if DK's brother does, but I know yeah, I know Ace. I've talked to Ace, and Ace wants the whole team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when they fucking
You're not going to get
December
that
3rd.
static, that version of static, Shane. No way.
Let's see here. December 30th. Saturday, December 30th.
Yeah, that'd be the last weekend of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever
Cold as
that
Ice featuring ladder match main event. Wow. Let's see. Let me see if I can find a damn. Let's see. This is in 521 Perkins, Mount Vernon, Illinois. Pew, pew. Let's Google this bitch while I got.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like 2-3 hours away, maybe.
Mount Vernon, Illinois. Directions. Fuck. It's 1 hour and 50 from here. But if I'm working in O'Fallon, Illinois. Fuck, it's an hour. It's an hour from my work.
That's not bad.
No. Fuck.
Not bad.
When is it? Let me take a look. It's the 30th, you said?
Yeah, that's not
So
the day that's not the day Shaw's booked. Shaw, they haven't given him an actual book date yet. They said
okay.
They said at the beginning of the new year.
Okay. Well, I would I mean, shit, I haven't talked to Ace in forever, and we were never really like tight buds or nothing. Like we were cordial, and we never had a problem. We were always polite to each other and everything, but I was never like close with him.
Right.
We joke about comic book shit sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you want to reach out and ask him, like,
Well,
when do they normally book? If it's always going to be the end?
Huh? I think that's what their shows are. Is the end of the month.
Yeah. Because if they're always going to have one at the end of the month, Broadway always does theirs the second weekend.
The second Saturday.
The second Saturday.
Yeah, it's they do the second Saturday of the month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Broadway.
Yeah, they're always the second Saturday. My headphone died. I gotta put the other one in.
But no, like what I've told Dido and everybody, like certain companies do certain things a certain way. So like it's not like I don't have I don't have the power to tell other companies what to do.
Oh yeah, with your guy. Yeah, no, it's up to them.
Like so like I go, all I can do is keep feeding the names, and then it's like I told him about, you and him, and he mentioned about it, and he goes, I want to have it at PWE, and I go, that's not up to me, man. Like that's up to Lenny, like. But
and that's what I told him too. He mentioned something to me as well, and I was like, that's not up to me, brother. That's not to Jason either.
Yeah, like I can tell Lenny, but if Lenny doesn't want it, then he doesn't want it.
Right.
I go, the best thing that we can do, if you want your first match to be Jeremy, then we got to get Jeremy in PWE first.
Yeah.
Because then Lenny becomes familiar with him. He sees that he works good. Then it'll become okay.
Yeah, we worked together briefly back in the day, and then he remembered me, and then he saw me at the gym, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd work you." But the problem, like I was telling these guys, is like I was telling anyone who would listen is like, right now this time of year with the way my job is working, retail and running a retail store, is I can't take off a Saturday.
Right.
The busiest work day of the week for my stores, and nor my boss let me take off a Saturday, rarely, and I'm blacked out right now, so I can't take any vacation time right now. So like to go to a PWE show to set up and just be there and not be booked Like, to me, like, I understand, like, that's normally how you get booked. I get it.
Yeah.
So if that's what it takes for me to get booked, well, I can't do that right now.
Right.
But if I can somehow squeeze in an opportunity, you know, come up on the 6th to at least get in there and show him I can work and show him that I can be trusted.
Right.
And that I have no problem doing what he needs me to do once I'm, you know, if he needs me for something, put me in a role, whatever. But like, or if he wants to fucking job me out, I don't fucking care. You know, if you're gonna job me out, I'm gonna fucking make it count. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna make that motherfucker look good, or at least try to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But like my point is like, right now I can't do what they want me to do in order to like pay my dues to PWE to get in there and get booked right now. So that's gonna have to wait.
Right.
My opportunity may come the 6th because he might need to throw somebody in last minute. And
Yeah.
if he does, I can be there and I can do that too. You know, like I can do that shit.
And
So,
sometimes all it is being there last minute and something comes up. You know what I mean?
yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. So like Saturday on the 6th, my ass will be at work. I'll have to convince my boss to let me leave early so I can drive 2 fucking hours to get to the PWE show and maybe get booked. Maybe not. But if not, I still get to be there and watch Eagle Eye and get to watch Ryxyr, you know, and like be with the guys and see them, you know, put on a show. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, to me, it's a win-win either way.
Right.
But it's also one of those things where he's gonna have to understand, like, because of my actual job that that makes me a living, I can't just drop. I can't do that right now. So that's the only thing that it doesn't make me. I'm not mad or anything about it. It's just it's not frustrating either. Like I totally understand, but that's the only hurdle I would say that's probably hasn't gotten me into PWE already is because it's just bad timing. Because I came back in November and boom, holiday season. You know.
Right. Well, I mean that's the same thing with Ryan. Like you know, I mean Ryan does. I mean I don't know. I know he works a lot because he's a manager at place that he works at.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I know the boss out there has been screwing him around on stuff like that. You know, he'll take a day off, or he'll put in a day off, and then magically the day of or the week or the day before something comes up and people have to take off, and you know, like I don't know, like this time I'm going to be like, you know what, no excuses. You're coming along. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like if I tell
you, if I have to come pick your ass up myself, you're going.
Yeah. If I take off work 2 weeks, because it's roughly 2.5 weeks from now.
Yeah.
You know, like 2.5 weeks is enough to take off.
Yeah. And I should be just about out of the blackout period.
Right.
Or I might still be in it, but I'm still going to do it. I'm going to be like, you guys can fuck off. We can do shit, can me? I'm leaving.
Right.
You know, like, you know, it's not that I don't work my ass off as it is, you know. The results speak plenty for themselves, so.
Right.
But it's crazy. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I love it. I think it's great. To kind of go backwards quite a bit when we were talking earlier tonight about the whole, you know, what was difficult when you first started, and I was talking about what I was watching on TV and me not knowing anything about indie wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have known that there were schools and places to train when I was like 17, 18 years old, I would have trained then, but I had no idea. I was 100% ignorant of what was going on until I was almost fucking 30.
Right.
I had no idea. I did not. And I watched wrestling my whole life, and I had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a single person tell me, yeah, you can go train here. It took a person who used to be a wrestler and got out of the business, and I met through work, and he was like, and he told me about it. Like, there's a guy, because I think I'd mentioned something about if there was a school close by or something, I probably would have done that when I was younger. And he was like, yeah, you can do that now. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, there's this guy I know. He'll train you. And that's how I got Brandon's number.
Mm.
And I was like, holy shit. I was thinking it was like 29 or 28 or something like that. 30, something
Right.
like that. I don't know, somewhere around there. But so if I would have known at a younger age, who knows what I've been doing, you know?
Yeah.
But it's crazy. But those times have gone and passed. I ain't worried about that.
Give me 1 second. Hey, for all of those who's watching this stream, I'm going to shut this stream down, you guys. Jeremy, you can stay here, but we'll still stay back here on the back end and talk. But everybody else who's stayed here and watched and everything, thanks a lot. And we'll see you again soon. I'm really bad at this. I'm rusty. Bye. Peace out, bitches.